So, hello everybody. Today we're discussing Hollow Knight, developed by Team Cherry, published also by Team Cherry. Initial release date February 2017. Genre Metroidvania. Platforms initially for Windows, later for Mac and Linux. Announced the release for the Nintendo Switch. The development of this game was partially funded through Kickstarter, exactly about 57,000 by the end of 2014, which I found interesting. So let's do our introductions and initial thoughts. Do we want to just go down the line on this?
Yeah.
All right. Allie, I think you're first.
Okay. I am Allie, and I absolutely love this game. Starting off, it was a little bit slow, but I kind of realized how much work the team put in, and as I went on, I loved it even more and more. Just seeing all the different areas and creatures and stuff.
Marcus?
I'm Marcus Tolbert. From the start, I was like a little off put because at least on mine, I don't know if I had some performance issue, but the intro animation was really choppy, and I was like, oh. But as soon as I took control, it felt really good to me. I don't know. It early on it felt a little slow, but it picked up after the first 30 minutes.
I'm Nick, and overall, I like the game. However, I think the longer I play, the more I find flaws in the game, and it's not as good as I initially thought. Noah?
Alright, I'm Noah. I have really enjoyed this game. There's not much I have to complain about it, really. But yeah, so overall, really good.
All right. And I'm Zach. I also really liked this game. I do have a few kind of nitpicky things about it, but overall, I really enjoyed this game. I also kind of agree that I think it started a little bit slow, but the further I got in the game, I just absolutely fell in love with it. Yeah, I like it a lot. And with that, we can move on to talking about the controls, mechanics, and gameplay. I don't know about you guys, but I really liked the gameplay. I thought it was really smooth. And this is the first Metroidvania game I've played, classic Metroidvania.
Yeah, I definitely say after playing the last two games, playing this with tight controls feels so nice. I felt like the last two games for our podcast were very clunky and kind of lowered the funness of it, but the tight air control and just the response of the controls felt really good.
Yeah.
Oh, how many people used controllers? Because
I did.
I did not.
I did.
Oh, yeah. I used keyboard mouse, and I completely switched all the keybinds because they were awful.
So interestingly, I did not. I just tried it for a little bit, and it was like, oh, this is really awkward. So I switched my hands to my left hand on the arrow keys, and my right hand doing ZXC, and then ASD, and pull my keyboard onto my lap and just lean back and play it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I after maybe 15 hours in, I was like, I'll try using a controller, and I was garbage with it. I'm not good at fighting games, so I can't move my thumb very fast.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, I can't do anything I need to, at least with a controller. So, yeah.
Anyone else with thoughts of keyboard or controller?
I've played with controller the entire time, and I've really enjoyed it. Controls are
Didn't they
smooth.
originally recommend controller?
Yeah. Well, whenever you launch it, it says controller is highly recommended.
Yeah. I rebound my keys to the standard shit like your abilities. I put 1, 2 jumping on W and stuff like that. It felt way more natural than using the ZXC and ASD. It felt weird.
Yeah, I think I started playing out with the keyboard and mouse, and then I switched to controller, and it just felt way better. I just stuck with that. I feel like the controller just let me control my direction a lot better. But with the mechanics and the gameplay, I started out thinking, oh, this is a little bit simple. It's just you run up, you hit guys, and you back off when they're about to hit you. But the variety of like the enemies and the movement and like adding on charms and like the depth of combat when you're just sticking with this one weapon and some like magical spells and stuff, I really liked it. It was definitely a lot more mechanically complex than I initially thought.
Yeah, as you said, like how at first it started out simple, but then like you all of a sudden start finding abilities, and when you kill bosses, like they give you additional abilities or items to use, and like that really opened up the game a lot, which I really liked. It felt like you were actually progressing through the game.
Yeah. Just to give a little bit of an explanation on this, basically the upgrade system in this game consists of these things called charms, which are like upgrades. They give you little or big bonuses. Like some of them give you more health, some of them make you attack faster. Some of them you can combine by equipping multiple of them, and they do different things. And you have a limited number of slots that you can put them in, and you can gain more slots by doing different things. Some of them you can buy, some of them you can unlock by doing like challenges, and I think that really added to the sense of progression.
Yeah.
Some of them are really funny. Like one of them, when you're healing yourself or channeling soul, you turn into this little bug and you can move around.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
it makes it like harder for enemies to hit you when you're healing.
Is
Yeah,
that
one of mine,
Shape of Bun or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that I love using is where it changes the first ability that you get that just shoots out like a white wave of energy, and it like turns into a bunch of fluke nests or whatever. I think that's fluke nests.
What is that? I think it might be.
They're like
Fluke
little-
Yeah.
They're little like worms, and I just like it a lot. And then I combined it with like another ability, which turns into this giant fluke nest, and then just creates giant AOE damage. So it's really cool. Like you can combine all sorts of charms to create new mechanics and create new fighting styles.
Yeah, definitely. Like I definitely played, at least later in the game, I played way more aggressive. Like I tried to do like the maximum amount of damage. I put quick nail on, and my strategy for fighting bosses was like, it's okay if they hit me because I will hit them fast enough that I can like gain enough soul that I can like heal myself for the damage that they take, and I just like rush them down.
How did you guys feel about the NPCs? Like just the mobs between all the bosses?
I really liked them.
Yeah, I thought there were some pretty cool, interesting characters.
Yeah, I like how they separated them out throughout like each level. Like they felt like they belonged there, and then like each one was very different in how they attacked and how they moved.
Hmm.
So it like felt very different each time you come into a new place. It doesn't feel like the same repetitive thing.
Yeah, the NPCs seem to really match the areas. And something I probably should have noticed before we started is maybe we should talk about the aesthetics before we talk about like the bosses, the NPCs, the areas, to like kind of let everybody visualize this.
Oh,
Like,
Oh, when you say NPCs, you mean the enemies, the mobs, not the like vendors and other.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, sorry. I just.
Used wrong terminology. But yeah, basically this game is all about insects and bugs, and they're all humanoided. And it's all about this culture of bugs. I don't know if can someone describe better than that. Like,
I will will read the.
The description.
Yeah, I probably should have read that in the intro, but I'll do it now. Forge your own path in Hollow Knight, an epic action adventure through a vast ruined kingdom of insects and heroes. Explore twisting caverns, battle tainted creatures, and befriend bizarre bugs, all in a classic hand-drawn 2D style. And it's a very nice style. I like the aesthetic a lot. It's a very cute, it's a very cute cartoony style.
But still like dark.
Yeah,
Sometimes
still really
gross.
dark. Yes. Yeah, your character is like really little and cute, and
Isn't taken seriously by many.
yeah, and I love how like dense your character feels. Like you'll land on a platform and like dust will fall because you're so heavy, and you don't take falling damage. You just like Superman jump down.
The superhero landing.
Yep. But yeah, it's don't know where I was going with that.
The character has a very satisfactory weight, and sort of like the attacking and the recoil, like from the start. And then the specific with landings, got the superhero landing. If you don't do a downswing or don't do anything else, or you don't get hit, it feels nice.
Yeah. What's some of your guys' favorite abilities that you get?
Favorite abilities.
I'll start. I'd say when I first got what is it called? Where you hold down the super dash. That's what it is.
Like
Yeah,
pistol.
probably one of mine too.
Oh yeah, that's great.
You just hold down a button and then you just launch yourself in one direction infinitely until you hit something. Like when I first got that, I used that so much. I loved it just a lot.
It's great for getting around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the double jump. I like the little wings that come out, and they just.
I haven't
like,
gotten that yet.
With the Monarch Queens, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like I really liked the wall jump, just because it made it feel like Super Meat
Oh
Boy.
yeah.
Yeah, the wall jump was like, I can actually go wherever I want now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I also like how some of your abilities do change from the charms. Example, like the fluke nest that I use a lot.
Yeah, and some like drastically change the gameplay. Like basically, you have this meter that you fill up with soul, and you gain soul by hitting enemies. You can also get it from statues that are around by hitting them. And basically, you can use this soul to do various things. The main one is heal yourself. So if you keep fighting, you can keep going. And you can also use it for like magical attacks and stuff. One of the charms you can get increases your health, but you cannot heal. And I think changes like that, like just drastically change how the gameplay goes and feels.
Yeah, I'm actually really conflicted by the heal mechanic. Like the healing's fine itself. My issue is, it's issue, also not issue. While you're healing, if you let go early, you just lose all that soul.
Yeah, I noticed
Like
that.
Yeah.
that's super annoying. But like when you do it and an enemy hits you, that makes sense to because that's punishment.
Yeah,
But,
it's
when
like
I
really-
let go 0.01 second before I trigger the heal, and then all of a sudden all that soul is wasted, like that triggers me.
I think an alternative to that would be like the point of that punishment, I believe, is to encourage you to only heal when you know you can, but they could do that just as well by, though this is almost worse, when you start a heal, you can't stop it until you've healed at least one. You know what I mean? Like that would be one way to counter that. It would be like you'd start a heal and it just heals, and then if you're gonna get hit during that, you can't get out of the way.
I don't really,
But-
I don't think I would really like that because it would break like the flow of the game. And this game is very much like, it's really smooth. The gameplay is really fluid, and you feel like you're able to really react quickly to stuff.
Yeah, so I think that's more of a side effect of having the soul but wanting you to have control. Is
Yeah.
but they still don't want you to just.
I mean, they could have
Is it
coded
over?
in a really easy way to just make that a little bit better. Like only like taking the souls away when being damaged from an enemy or something. I don't know.
So, what was everybody's favorite boss and favorite NPC?
Oh god. Well, I haven't completed the whole game, but let me think of a favorite boss while somebody else goes.
Oh, favorite boss is probably Hornet.
Yeah,
Hornet was a lot of fun.
Hornet was a lot of fun. I liked it. It was tough, and it took me a bunch of tries, but I liked the Mantis Lords.
Oh yeah.
They were fun too. Yeah.
I'm actually fighting them right now.
Nice. Yeah, that was the one that was like the first part of the game that made me think this game is Dark Souls, because it was a ton about like learning their attack patterns, learning like how do I dodge this, when's a good time to hit them, when's a good time to heal. And it's like, oh yeah, this boss has phases, and the second phase is a lot more difficult and a lot more annoying. And eventually it was just like, I am amazing at this, and I beat him. And I also like that boss fight because it's like, it feels like the world is like alive, and you're not just fighting these guys because they're the bad guys. Now I liked the whole like, oh, now they respect you, so they let you pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my favorite might be the Gun Defender.
That was fun.
Yeah, he's good.
I really enjoyed his fight a bunch. And then what surprised me was at the end was he didn't die. He just turned out to be actually a friendly guy.
Wait, the Dung Defender?
Yeah.
You and I did this at a very different order. Like,
Oh,
he was
wasn't
like
my
one of the
first
last.
boss
Yeah, he was like one of the last
that you-
bosses I beat, because
Really?
I think he's
thought-
because he's in a very optional area.
Yeah, I fought him before I fought the Mantis Lords. I know.
Yeah, I fought him actually, really early, which I did have huge troubles with. I have no idea if you were supposed to fight him early or not. Or just...
That's kind of the thing I like about this game. The world is very open, and you can kind of. But that's one of the gripes I had about this game. There's not a lot of direction, but I kind of like that.
Well, since we're going in that direction, let's talk about that. The open area where you can almost go anywhere.
There's some direction though. I mean, like with the walls.
It's pretty locked down until
the
you get the
skills.
abilities. Like, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
there's very few areas you can go until you get the base movement abilities, like the main three.
Yeah.
And then once you get those, it just expands everywhere, and then it's just kind of like, where the fuck do you go?
Yeah.
I felt like this is where they're being really Dark Souls like, because this game is very heavily influenced. Even the developers said it themselves, like it's influenced by Dark Souls. But I feel like this is where those instances where it's too big and it's too vague on where to go. Had I not look up where to go, I would probably still be lost in like 40 hours in the game and probably not even be 1/4 complete.
I had to look up stuff like because I got to that point where I was like 30 hours in and not sure where to go. So I was like, what am I missing? And that's kind of how I approached the end game.
I haven't had to look up anything yet so far.
I didn't look up anything until I killed the Hollow Knight, and I had half of the King Soul, and then I was like, I don't know where the other half is, and it was the Dream one or whatever. But I was like, yeah.
Right. I
did
can't
not
even
have
imagine
to.
looking for that.
Yeah, I needed to look up like, okay, I know I need this special ability. I don't know where to get it. So I just like looked up the area that it was in, and then it was like, oh, I didn't go down that path. So
Yeah,
it was down that path.
that's kind of what I did. Like, where should I go? Like, what's the next area? And then I just try to explore as much as I can from there.
Yeah. Because I mean, how many areas are completely optional? Like,
No idea actually.
Several.
you don't need to go to the. Let's see.
The Abyss is.
You don't need to go to the
definitely optional.
Abyss. You don't need to go to the Hive. There's a ton of optional bosses.
The Lost City. I feel like, or is that the End City or whatever? What is that place called? The End of the
Yeah.
World. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
That
need to go
place.
there at all, do you?
Is that by Kingdom's Edge?
Yes, Kingdom's Edge. That's what it's
Okay.
called.
Oh, that. I'm pretty sure
It's-
you need a certain ability from there,
No, you don't get any
No.
or
abilities
you can
from
just no, because
Not for the
that's where
people,
a guy teaches you. Oh, I guess that's not necessary.
Yeah, that's not required.
There's a NPC there who
The
teaches you
swordsmith?
some. Yeah.
The sort of except for probably like the sharpening one. That's is. Well, I guess you don't even need the sharpening one, but unless you're
I mean,
really good.
He's in the. I mean, that's a little bit of a different area.
Yeah. Also the
Alright.
like stag nest.
Oh, Stagnus is
yeah.
optional. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that made me tear up.
Yeah. He was one of my favorite NPCs.
I
Oh
know.
yeah, he was my
Things
favorite.
to say.
I loved like each interaction, like when you unlock the new area, and he's like, "Oh, I'm starting to remember all this," and like
Yeah.
remembering the glory days of when all of this was alive.
Yeah. I liked a lot of the NPCs. Like one of my favorite ones was what's that one NPC with the bag on her head with the giant club thing?
Oh,
I don't
can't-
remember her name,
I don't think I ran into that.
but I know
really?
who you're talking
Yeah, I
about.
haven't run into her yet.
She
Also, I really like
died.
Quirrell. He was probably my favorite.
I liked Zote. There's one point that I realized towards the end where I rescued Zote, and he was alive and back in the town, and then I rescued this other chick. And when you go back to the town, Zote's like telling her of his tales and stuff, and she's like listening, and it's really cute. It's kind of like romantic a little bit, and it's really sweet.
I mean, kind of. Do you remember how he got there or why he ended up
You
there?
know, well, yeah. Zote's
Uh.
a little bugger. He,
Oh, the NPC I was thinking of is Cloth.
yes, yeah, that's her name.
Oh yeah.
Also, I think it's something I think you told me, Nick, is that you're not sure whether the map maker is like always working because he loves his wife or he hates his wife.
yeah. Have you guys ever seen that? Like
I
she's
mean,
all alone up there running the shop, and
he goes back.
Does he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if
So
you get
far,
If you get all the maps, he
all
goes-
the maps. Okay, so literally you have to run them out of business.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just like found it hilarious. He goes in these extremely dangerous areas, just to provide for his family, but also couldn't really tell if it's just because he didn't really like his wife.
Did you try using the dream nail on her?
Oh no.
You can use the dream nail on a lot of NPCs.
Oh yeah, you can.
And they'll
Yeah, and
say stuff.
you see their thoughts.
Oh.
There's one of the I don't even remember one of the random ones that's like I can't remember their name, but like they're not a vendor or anything. But it's like the thought was like, should I eat this little guy? And it was like, what? And it was like, oh, yeah, perfectly normal conversation. And you just think about eating me. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
What is your guys' favorite thing in this game?
My favorite moment of the game was when I realized you could swing down and then bounce off of spikes and stuff. I got so far into the game without ever doing that.
You can
And
Wait, you
bounce
can bounce off
spikes?
spikes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
if
you
you-
down
Oh my
strike.
god.
Not thorns. For some reason, if it's made of metal, you can bounce off of it. So if you jump, because I didn't even consider, I was like, oh, you can swing up. I never considered you could swing down. I never tried it.
Makes sense because you can parry people.
Yeah, but yeah, the parry, like you'll knock yourself back, and you can just bounce along the spikes. So there's a couple of spots. I think there's one. Well, one of the after a while, I forgot that I had the crystal dash thing, and there was a spike pit somewhere, and I was just like, whatever, and I just jumped in, and I was bouncing across it, and I was like, what am I doing? I probably just use the crystals here.
You can
But-
do that with like those worms too, like hard worms. You can bounce off of them too.
Oh.
Yeah.
It doesn't come in handy very often, but you can.
Just in this one little area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. How did I not even consider this? Like, oh,
My favorite moment was when this is pretty early on too, but I was just discovered the jellyfish area, and they were like those little bouncy things, and I was like bouncing on them. I'm like, I don't understand, but these are so cool and they're so cute. And eventually, I was like, yeah, the little bouncy circle things that are on the ground.
God,
And that's when I learned that you could down strike because I didn't know before. But I kind of struggled with that, but it was a lot of fun.
hated those purple fucking
Yeah.
very inconsistent.
oh, I suppose I really like traveling through that area now. Like with all the abilities, you can get through that entire area without ever touching the ground, and it's pretty great.
Yeah.
You just like wall jumping and dashing and bouncing.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing in this game is literally its art and the world it's built with this art. Like, it explains a lot without telling you.
Yeah. Feels like this is definitely like a world, even if it is like a really kind of shitty rundown version of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It definitely feels like life has been there before. And
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's similarly my favorite thing about it is just the art, the aesthetic, the world, all of it put together. Like, it's awesome the amount of variety that they like. I'm looking through the NPCs right now, and like they're all bugs, but there's just such a variety between them, and I can like that's one thing that always makes me think this game is great. I remember so many of these characters, and like they all like gave me a different impression, and I can remember that impression, and that just makes me think like, oh, this was great. Like when I first got to like the little miner girl and how like unsettling her little song was
Yeah.
Yeah.
in that thing. Yeah.
That made me so sad.
a slight detail with NPCs is if you're equipping certain charms, they'll interact with you differently.
Yeah.
I was equipping the one charm that gives you a terrible odor,
Yep.
like AoE ability, and like if you try to go to the NPC where you can sell your things to, he like completely refuses to sell you anything. He's
Oh,
like,
I found there's one merchant who gives you a discount when you're wearing that one.
Yeah, the guy that sells fragile charms. If you
Yeah.
bring it to him, he'll give you what is it like? It's like a third off or something.
Yeah, it's
Insane.
pretty good.
oh man, I just like ball this
Which is
thing.
awesome because there's a bench
1
right
hour.
next to him. Yeah.
Did you guys use the bank at all?
No,
did.
I haven't.
Yes. And I had it full.
Yep, me too.
Did you? Do you know where she went?
Yeah, I went to go find her. So what happens is, if you put in enough money, I think it's like 2,000 or 3,000 or something like that.
Is it enough money, or is it at a certain point in the story?
It's a certain amount of money.
Uh,
She'll run off and steal all your money, and you won't have access to it.
Oh,
And so she's like
Gold
hiding in
digger.
like the love tower or something in that area. And you have to go up and like basically beat her, and she'll give you your money back.
well, every time you hit her, she drops like 100 or something, right?
Yeah,
Yes. You just wail on her for
you
forever.
can get more than you put in too. So like, if it's like 2,000 you put in, and she runs off of it, you go and beat her up, and she'll give you like 3,000. So you
Gotta
get
go
more,
break some
but
kneecaps.
yeah,
Maybe that may have been it was my most satisfying. Like I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
right? Yeah, exactly.
No, what's your favorite thing? You didn't say anything.
I'm probably gonna agree with the aesthetic and stuff. Like I always like these like darker kind of games, like Dark Souls and stuff, with like the darker aesthetic.
All right. Since we talked about the likes, let's get in the nitty. What?
Sorry, it's at the moment. I agree with everyone as well. The world, but more specifically that it's a world that I cared about somehow. Like with such a small amount of information, I still like it from the start. It was I cared what was going on there.
Yeah.
Definitely grabs you in.
Yeah. Good world, but whatever. I'm not gonna even try to say that again.
All right. Well,
So stuff that annoyed us or stuff we didn't quite like.
I'll have a lot to say, so someone go before me.
Just right off the top, Soul Master, and then Soul Tyrant.
Yeah.
I hated both those bosses.
Tyrant was really hard.
Yeah.
The Soul Tyrant, the dream version of the Soul
Yeah.
Master? Okay. I just thought Soul Master was fucking hard enough. But apparently I was fighting him before I even found like that you could upgrade your nail or anything like
gee.
that.
Yeah.
So I was trying and I barely had any charms. I just found him like really early.
I don't know if I found him.
Very circumstantial, but there were times where I was cursing out the recoil when you hit enemies.
Oh yeah.
Like early on, is that Fungal Waste? Where there's everywhere there was acid early in the game. When you'd hit someone just wrong and you'd knock yourself into a pit of acid.
Yeah.
Before you had double jump, you were just screwed. It was like, oh, I'm dead. Or, I'm not dead, but it was as frustrating as dying.
Yeah.
It was rough.
For me, it was like dashing in the Queen's Garden, where you'd have to like dash to the next like ledge, and you wouldn't quite dash enough, and you'd fall to the spikes and just die.
Yep.
It's like
Oh, did anyone else do the flower quest? Because that made
oh my
me.
gosh,
I
gave up.
hated that quest.
I tried 3 times. And I was like, you know what, this isn't worth it.
So, I guess I may as well explain what the flower quest is. In
haven't
the
done
simplest form, you find someone who wants you to deliver a flower somewhere, and it's delicate. So if you get hurt or you travel using the stags, it's destroyed. So you have to get there without taking any hits, or fast traveling, and it's basically the two opposite sides of the map.
Oh, are you serious?
And then the last part is like a series of narrow jumps over thorns or through thorns, and it's just like, oh, so like if you're really careful, you'll make it there and then die in the thorns a couple times. And it's just like, I hate this game.
Or hurt yourself on one
Yeah.
thorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that I didn't like was Crystal Peak, those smasher things?
Yeah.
The crusher things that you have to like dash through or whatever. I really don't like those because like I don't like stuff in games that's just reaction time based, because I'm so terrible at those.
I'm sorry, which things were reaction time based?
The things in Crystal Peak where it's like the conveyor belts and the smasher things, like
Oh,
On a constant loop.
yeah, those sucked. I hated those because it would be like, if I'm frustrated, there was zero chance of me making it through that because I just like start walking too early, and I'm like, it barely pinched me. This is bullshit.
yeah. Another thing that annoyed me about it, which I think annoyed more people, was just kind of not really knowing where to go.
Yep.
I know early game you have like more direction, but like later in the game when it's like, I don't know how to get through here. Like if I hadn't looked that up, I probably would still be looking.
Right. Late game, there's no direction.
Yeah, and to build off that, like if you run into bosses in that, and like they're more
Oh my god.
bosses who should be like, oh, you should have like your nail upgraded to the very max if you want to fight this boss or something. But you have no way of telling because there's no fucking health bars anywhere.
This is one thing I'm actually gonna. I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm
fine
Well,
with
okay,
the
no.
mob.
Let me put it this way: if they were gonna do a health bar, enemy health bars, it should be charm. Because if the compass is fine as a charm, I think health bar thing could be fine as a charm.
All right,
But definitely not a free.
Yeah.
like I was fine with that.
That would be good.
I was fine with all the mods and shit, like without having health bars. But like, it aggravated the shit out of me that bosses didn't have it because I couldn't tell. Like, is the strategy I'm doing working? Like, if like I have no way of telling. Like, so I like switch around charms a lot and see if it's more effective. But I have no indication of it if it is. Your only indication is it goes into a second phase. Well, congratulations. Like you only know 1 point of where you're at of the boss fight.
unless it's some like a 3 or 4 stage boss fight, and then you're like, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not totally like it is annoying, but it was one of those things where it's most of the bosses. There are a couple exceptions. Oh, actually, most hated thing in the game. I totally forgot about it. I like blocked it out of Shell Shock or something. What were they called? On the way to the sleeper at the top of the tower, the Watchers, all those beetles.
Oh yeah.
I hated that fight so much. I eventually,
Watcher boss fight.
yeah, but there's all the bugs. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, 6 of them. Yeah, I actually just did that today, like 2 hours
So
ago.
that I couldn't find a predictable enough pattern because there's just so many that
They
I was
only
like,
do 3 things, but like there's no.
but if there's always 2 of them, it's just or
Yeah.
near the end.
I
of it.
actually got a point where it was 3 for no reason.
Yeah, it's because it's on a timer. I think like straight up, it's if you take too long, I think you could get all 6.
Mm.
Maybe not. There may be a limit, but I just
No,
got frustrated and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tank it. And I did the thing where it's like, I stay invincible longer after taking hits. I have the double hit. And then I have Joni's blessing or whatever.
I just glass cannoned it.
Well, yeah, I did the opposite because I was like, I'm sick of this bullshit. It took me like 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, this isn't even supposed to be like a huge fight. What? Like, this is stupid. So I just wailed on them, and with that build, you take a lot of hits, but you kill them before you kill the first one before the second one is even up, and you just do that through all 6.
Yep.
And while they're spawning in, you just heal. It was bullshit. Oh, it wasn't Joni's blessing. It was Fragile Heart. But like, I fuck that fight.
Yeah, early on, that's a really hard one. And so after a few tries of failing, I just like skipped it and then went back to it at the end, and it was like piece of cake.
I thought it was easy, probably because I glass cannoned it. I used the fragile strength and the super fast attack, and where if you get hit, you take longer to vulnerable again. That made it OP as shit, because I literally just stood there and just swung the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And I would kill them before anything.
Yeah,
and
essentially
then-
that was my strategy.
Yeah,
Except for then
and
I also just endured every hit I took.
as soon as like they rolled, then like that's where you could heal, pretty much. So yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna get to my biggest gripe of this game, which I'm gonna get a lot of backlash from you guys, but fuck you guys. I really hate your death mechanic. I hate it.
I thought it was kind of pointless because of how easy the enemy was. It was like, well, why isn't it just the same as Dark Souls then, where you get there and because like it was just the money, and the money stopped being important like halfway through the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it wasn't like Dark Souls where it's actually used to upgrade you directly. It's like it's used for items.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I don't disagree.
it attacking you back, I thought was annoying, but like it actually caught me off off guard once and like killed me, I think once or twice. But like my biggest gripe with it is with how big this game is and like how you can explore almost anywhere after you get like some of your abilities. Is to me it felt like it forced me to like go get my geos back because I would have like a good stockpile of them. And like once I get there and get the items, I'm like, well, might as well keep continuing this way. Like I felt like it was stupid to just backtrack and like go into a different area. So I never felt like I had the freedom to backtrack, even though I did have a choice. But it's not how I felt.
Would
Yeah,
you oh, sorry.
I thought that was like pretty restrictive. At least for me, I didn't get a rancid egg. Like I got one like very early game, and then I didn't find another one until much later in the game, and then I just found a bunch of them. But at that point, I didn't need them. I think if they gave you more rancid eggs early game, that would be like less of a problem.
Oh, does
Well,
everyone know the use of rancid eggs?
Nope.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna explain this. Like the problem with rancid eggs though is like that collects your soul back and all your geos like from wherever you died. That's the mechanic of it.
But you still
The
have to
problem
travel
with
to a
it-
fast travel station.
Exactly. You still have to go to a fucking stag station and travel back to the home place and then go where you have to trade it in.
Yeah,
So you still have to move.
I definitely agree with that. There need to be more fast travel or more stag stations, or like a few more, because some of the areas you go like so fucking far, like to get to is it Deep Nest? Or no, I guess there's one in Deep Nest, but like to get to the Abyss, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna go to the city storerooms, or no, I guess King's Station, and then just go all the way across, and then down, and then all the way over, and then down all the way. It's like, why isn't there just one over here? Like,
I think that's done intentionally, and that brings up another bit that annoyed me, but it's the bit that I kind of liked that it annoyed me. Is first time I went to Deep Nest, it probably took me about 10 tries to get out of there. That's why I kind of compared it to Blighttown. It's just an area that is really, I thought was really shitty and really difficult to get out of. And shitty because it was difficult, because it had like those enemies that took like 3 hits to kill, and they would always lunge at you. So almost every single one of them would at least get like 1 hit on you.
and when you kill them, they come back to life as spiders.
Yeah. And they
That was,
just
that
burrowed
was
in the ground.
horrifying when you. So okay,
Oh,
the first time that there was a spider, it didn't. I just killed them when I was rushing through because I was pretty late game that I was going there. I killed a bunch of them when I was running off, and then I just hear the click, like all that horrible clicking, like a bunch of it, and then like 3 or 4 just came out of nowhere and started attacking me. And I was like, "This is what the hell is this?"
These things
Yeah.
are dumb.
And like, never mind. Go ahead.
I like wanted to expand on my dislike, but that like all of a sudden turned really fast into a different conversation.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
So the death mechanic, blatant rip off of Dark Souls, like no argue about it.
Oh yeah, no question.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the problem is, because like these games are slightly different. Like Dark Souls is actually pretty linear. The first one is a lot more lenient, but like number 2 and 3, the no fucking other way to go. Like it's kind of a straight path. So it works for the Dark Souls mechanic.
Yeah, because that's where you
having
need
your
to go.
souls.
So
Yeah,
you
and, like-
have to backtrack anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
it's inherent.
Like yeah, there's some places where like you might have to go down to a different path, but eventually it's gonna be a dead end, or it'll like go back into the main path eventually or something like that.
Yeah.
But this game, there's nothing like that.
Yeah, dying for stupid reasons is stupid. Or dying when you're just exploring. You're like, it wasn't hard. I was just caught off guard or something, and you're just like,
Yep.
oh, I'm dead. Or I fell in too many spikes and there were no enemies. Or yeah, the areas where there's no enemies, and just like I just keep fucking up with basic jumps or something somewhere, and like yeah, it's my fault, but it doesn't make it less frustrating. And it's like, it's not even a real challenge. It's just like, oh, there's so little of a challenge. I wasn't trying hard enough to avoid a death pit, like over and over again. Which yeah, it just sounds like I'm being really incompetent. But I mean, yeah, backtracking when all you're doing is exploring is stupid, and that yeah.
And like you get used to those places. So like as you're saying, like yeah, you're just like, oh, this is the easy part. So you're not trying your hardest. And then yeah, you just kind of fuck up a little.
Yep.
So I don't know, what do you think would be a good way to? I mean, what would be an appropriate punishment for death in a game like this, or just not have one? What do you think?
Like it can take your geos away. That's it. Just subtract like
Like
certain-
10% of it or something.
Yeah.
You could
I mean,
take away
maybe
rancid
more.
egg.
That too. I mean, like
If you have one, yeah.
I wouldn't be able to think of a really good death mechanic unless I actually helped develop this game and like actually knew a lot about it. But I just don't agree with their Dark Souls mechanic.
I kind of like this game's death mechanic. Like, I like it because the part where it basically when you die in this game, it creates a shadow version of you that you have to go back and you kill in order to get your geodes back. Geodes are the money in this game. Is a certain amount of it drops from bosses and just random guys you kill, and you use it to buy upgrades. But I like it because it feels like you are penalized. Your soul meter is like cut to 3/4 its size, and I kind of do like it because it's a punishment, but it's not like insurmountable. Like even if it's in a very bad spot, and it is spawned in some really shitty spots for me.
Well, there's certain boss arenas that it won't spawn outside of.
Yeah,
You have to go in there.
That's also annoying.
yeah, but I think in general I do like that mechanic, even if it isn't very favorable all the time, because it's a punishment, but it's not insurmountable. Like there have been a couple of times in the game where it's just been like, I didn't have any geodes on me, I'm just gonna die again really close, so I don't have to go all the way back there. But some of the times when you have like a lot of geodes, it's just soul crushing.
Oh, I'm gonna be a nitpicky piece of crap right now. They're geo, not geodes. There's no
Really?
D. Yeah, there's no D.
Geos, okay.
Yeah. Even though they look like geodes, and I felt the exact same way.
Yep.
One thing that caught me off guard about the death mechanic is like when you get, because like you start off with 5 health, right?
Yes.
Was
And
it?
then like
I think so. Yeah, 5.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, and then once you get your 6th one, then it takes 3 hits to kill your spirit. So
Mhm.
like, does the spirit take or like have half as much health as you? Is that how that works?
I don't know. I think it's
Honestly,
I don't
literally
know. Because at
you hit it.
at max health shards, it's I guess I don't know what it would take with a with a max upgraded nail. It takes 1 hit when you're when you have full health, or when you have all 9 masks.
Something I do like about the death mechanic is like when you get spells, your shadow gets spells too, and it like,
Yeah.
against you.
Yeah,
I
I thought that was pretty cool.
Personally, I think the best, or what I would prefer for this type of death mechanic would be almost no penalty, but the shadow of you that it creates is actually pretty tough, like decent mini boss level tough, because then it wouldn't be like if you're just exploring, it's only a problem if you already have to go that way, and then it's an obstacle.
But then if I have to go that way to collect all my geos and then collect the other 1/3 of my fucking soul, I'd fucking quit this game. I'd be like,
Right.
no.
But I mean, if it wasn't that, if it was just a decently
Mini boss. Okay,
mini
yeah,
boss,
that would be
and
good.
then it would be like, oh well, you've created another hazard by dying. Like you've made that path more difficult.
Yeah, stronger.
That could suck, but it's the type of thing that if they went with it that way, it would have to be introduced pretty early, and it would be, it would slowly get better along with you, but it would never be quite as powerful as you.
I feel
So
like
it
I
would still
think
be-
that would be annoying just because I've died a lot during this game, and certain parts I've died a lot on. And if it had created a hazard on some of those parts, I probably would have just gotten so frustrated that I quit. Because some of the parts, like getting out of Deep Nest, were just a slog. I don't know if I just got to it when I was too early game. I think I was. It was kind of early game when I got to Deep Nest, and just getting out of there, it sucked. And
I don't remember having much issue getting out of Deep Nest.
If you don't have the map, you don't know
I
where
had
you're
an
going.
issue getting in. I didn't have an issue.
I think I had the map. I just think maybe I was going the wrong direction or something, but I just had a huge problem getting out of there. And that was another thing with like, I kind of liked it because it lent to the aesthetic of like, this is a shitty place. Like
Yeah.
the map maker is like,
Oh.
this place is really shitty. And then Cloth is like, I thought I was pretty tough, but this place is really shitty. I don't want to die down here. And it was just like, yeah, I kind of empathize with these fictional characters.
I hate to interrupt, but it's 8:10. When's your tournament?
Oh, yeah, soon. I just was waiting for it and thought I'd keep listening.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
But yeah.
Never mind.
But yeah, we can wrap up here if we've expressed all our thoughts or have any final
Yeah.
words.
yeah, we can do a final word, and I do want to talk about like the story and the lore and
Oh yeah.
spoilers and stuff.
Yeah.
We do that
So-
for a little bit.
So yeah, if you have to go, Ellie, it might as well, because that might take a while.
Okay. Yeah, I'll might stay in here a little bit longer, but probably
Why
won't
the
say
fuck
much.
am I?
So in
Alright.
conclusion, this game sucks. Don't play it. No, I'm joking. Definitely play this game if you like. This game, it was like the definition of like neo retro to me. Like it felt like an old, kind of an old game. Had that kind of nostalgia about it, but it was so smooth and so well polished and so well designed, despite like a couple of those things, that
Yeah.
I really like this game. And if you like Metroidvanias, definitely consider playing this.
I think it's a must pick up for this year, for 2017. It's definitely one of
Yeah.
the top games so far.
Yeah.
As much as I hated some of their choices of mechanics and all that, is definitely a game people should play.
Yeah.
And it just had a free DLC.
Oh, was it
yeah.
free?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
It was part of a patch. It's like nothing you have to download.
Nice.
Oh, don't you have to start a new game though?
I have no idea.
Because my save file is 42 hours. I don't want to give that up.
Yeah. It's like, I think I missed some NPC quests, and it's like, I don't want to start a new game to have to do that.
I just got the dream now.
All right, you guys want to talk about the lore then?
Yeah.
All right.
In a nutshell, this game is Dark Souls.
Yeah, not even joking.
Yeah, it's in fact the
Dark Souls with bugs.
Well, the campaign is literally just a conversion of Dark Souls 3, right?
Yeah.
No, Dark
You're
Souls
replacing a failed vessel.
Mhm.
But
That's
like,
the goal.
but their Hollow Knight is literally Artorias from the first game. Like,
Yeah. Like, he corrupted, and like a little bit of Lord Gwyn, because he's like, through his sacrifice, this world is like maintained, and there's a huge emphasis on like the balance between light and dark, just like Dark Souls, like cycling between the Age of Fire and Age of Darkness.
Oh, I do have a complaint about the Hollow Knight fight, because it's made to be as easy as it is, and not saying it's super easy, but it's the difficulty it is because of it being a 2-stage fight where you fight him and then you have to move on to the true final boss fight if you have the right things unlocked. And I would have preferred that he's super super tough, and then it like lets
But,
you
like-
permanently save at the point at which you start the true fight, the true final fight, because
oh shit.
he's so easy. Like if you have everything you need to go into the final fight, he's so easy. It's just a waste of time, and it's just annoying every single time.
He was a bit easy.
Well, I think it's more emotional. Like, it's more about the story, and less. I know it'd be nice if it was a little bit harder, but it's more about the story in that fight than the.
Yeah.
But I feel like,
Well, like how much do you even learn about the Hollow Knight? Like,
very
I
little
don't think it
time.
would be emotional at all.
You don't really need to.
Well,
like,
if you haven't gotten the Void Heart, you don't know very much about him. If you have, then you do. You have learned more, because you know that there's a. I guess there's basically a cutscene, not exactly.
So you like kind of know about him for like a moment, and then you kill him.
No. I mean, when you get the Void Heart, because you follow him,
Like,
you
how
follow
fucking
like a
far is
memory of
that?
him. What?
Like how soon do you get the Void Heart and then kill him?
What do you mean?
Literally what I just said.
Well, I mean, you can
How
get it
long
and then
does it
not
take?
kill him.
Yeah, it's not
Okay, well,
mandatory that you kill the
that's-
Hollow Knight.
So you have to kill him to get to the true final boss.
No, you have to beat him to a certain point, and then I mean we're well into spoilers now.
Yeah.
And we
I don't
maybe
care
this
about
entire.
spoilers.
I don't know. I'm just for the sake of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Even though I'm
So you still have to fight him.
you fight him, and
final
then
boss.
okay, so Okay, absolute spoiler. If you once you get the King Soul and then you turn it into the Void Heart and then you start the fight, near the end of the fight, Hornet will join you and she'll tie him down, and then that crack in his mask starts spewing the little symbols that are like surrounding all the ghosts and the dream things. So you use the Dream Nail on him, and then you fight the dream version of him or whatever, and it's called, oh shoot, what is it called? The
Radiance.
Radiance?
the Radiance, and that's the true fight. So like I haven't beaten him, and I haven't watched the cutscene after that. I haven't looked it up. I was just gonna wait till I beat him. So I
Yeah.
actually don't know what the true final ending is, but
There's 3 different endings.
oh yeah. I guess I'd gotten the alternate. So if you just keep wailing on him, I guess you're the one who got that first, so you can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the first ending is you just kill the Hollow Knight. The second ending is you kill the Hollow Knight and then the Radiance. The third ending, which you have to go around and like help trolls or something, the mushroom people.
Oh no
Which
no.
I didn't figure that out, but if you
Oh, the
do that,
mushroom
then
guy,
that's
yeah.
a third different ending.
Okay, so no, there's actually. I thought you were talking about the other. So okay, if you haven't gotten the Void Heart and you kill him, there's the one ending where you just straight up you become the new vessel. Like you
Yeah.
just there's that.
Dark Souls.
There's a second. There's another one where if you get the Void Heart and then kill him, very similar. You become the new vessel, but then Hornet becomes trapped in there with you, and her mask becomes one of the seals on the front of the door, like the Dreamers.
Mhm.
So she's just added to that. And then the third one is I'm assuming that you're just becoming a more pure version of the vessel instead of a continuation, like an ending of the cycle type of thing. But I don't know.
No, I think I watched some of them, and I think there's one where you don't become it.
Oh, then that's probably that one. I'm not gonna watch it though. I'm gonna wait till I.
Yeah,
Wait.
I don't want to give away the very final details, but there's a few different endings depending on what you accomplish, what pieces you have going into the fight.
Yeah, there's whatever the mushroom ending is, which is like that'll happen regardless of what you do. I mean, regardless of how you
Does
finish
it?
the game. Yeah, if you do the weird mushroom thing, because I had it happen to me, because I was just exploring around enough and I started seeing him, and I just googled like what the hell is the mushroom guy,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, equip the mushroom whatever, a mushroom charm, and then you can talk to him. And I was like, oh,
Oh.
okay.
You have to talk to, I think there's like
Oh.
9 different ones or something like that.
Okay.
And if you talk to all of them, you get the mushroom ending. If you get the other pieces too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I totally ran into one of the mushroom guys. I'm like, what?
they're so
What's the
weird.
point of this background character.
They like turn
Um,
around and like blah, 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 blah.
Oh, excuse me, and they just shrink into nothing. You're like, what the hell was that?
Also, this is a little bit like going back to NPCs, but did any of you like get super fucking creeped out by that one NPC? Like I think it's either in the Deep Nest or the Abyss, where it just like comes out of the wall and it's like talking to
Ooh,
you
the
and then
mother?
it hits you.
The what is that called?
I had up a list of the NPCs.
Isn't it like the white something?
No, it's the what's it called when there's a person that helps with children of another person? It's like
Like
shoot.
a nanny or something?
Midwife.
Yeah, it's the mid. Is it just called the midwife?
Yeah, I'm looking at the list of NPCs. Yeah, and
I
it
really
is
liked
in
the white lady. She was cool.
Yeah, I like the design of a lot of these guys. Like when I first found the mask maker, I was like, this guy's awesome.
Oh, how many times did you go in and out of there? Because I was like, I went in there 2 different times, and I was like, you're wearing a different mask, I think.
I think I only went in there once.
Yeah, he cycles through, I think 4 or 5. It might be more though, because it was like 2 or 3 in a row of the same one, and then it was a different one.
Hmm.
It's just super random which one.
Huh.
And yeah, the midwife. If she obviously isn't super stable, but if you talk to her and then she freaks out, and then if you leave and come back, you can talk to her again, and she'll have more to say.
Hmm.
And you can keep that going for a while.
I just like looked at the NPC list and apparently haven't met like a lot of them.
Yeah, I haven't met a lot of
Even
them.
though like I know that I'm pretty close to beating the game.
Ooh, how many people got to the Coliseum of Fools?
Nope.
I did. God,
Did you beat any of them?
I beat the first two. I think.
Same. Did you save Zote, and then after you save Zote, fight in the Coliseum of Fools on the first level one? Like if you've saved him both times.
I haven't found him the second time.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you where he is?
Sure.
He's in one of the large rectangular chambers in the middle of Deep Nest. Like pretty high up. Pretty high up actually. Like not very deep down at all. And you just I think as long as you don't talk to him, it won't trigger the period of time or whatever. So like maybe you just have to enter the room. So like there's a large rectangular room just I think it's the one right is it south of the fungal wastes, like or yeah, just below it. If you keep going down, you'll get to that room. But yeah, if you save him, he'll be the final boss in the level 1 version of the arena.
Fucking sweet.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
that was probably the most. I don't know. I felt like he's such a dick, but I felt so bad during that fight.
Yeah, when you have to hit
Whoop
him,
his
and
ass.
he's
He's
sitting there.
so embarrassing. Yeah,
Not is he super easy?
he can't even hurt you.
Oh.
He hits you and
Defenseless.
he's defenseless and he trips and falls over and it's just like constantly
They,
and
like
it's
throw
like
him out.
it's like I don't even want to hit him. Can I just let him win?
Yeah.
That'd be a great DLC.
Where you play as Zote.
Oh no, not even just like what you have to do, like just a series of quests where what you have to do is go out of your way to do something difficult and then just like to keep him feeling like he's a hero.
Yeah. That's like to finish off his quest. One of the
Yeah.
ways.
That'd be great. Because
Yeah.
if you use the dream nail on him, he actually thinks he is a hero. He doesn't think he's a fake.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. He definitely seems like that. Like he thinks like I'm the best. Like he thinks he's basically what you are.
That's interesting.
Which
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
know why, but that makes him more endearing to me.
Yeah. And that's what I like. That's what I was like talking about when I was talking about the NPCs. Like so much of them have so much depth to them and you fall in love with them. And yeah, it really makes me like this game. Just I like good characters.
Oh, did anyone get all the nail arts?
No.
Yes, I think so.
You did. Okay. So I'm not gonna say who it is, but were you surprised to find out who the Grand Nail Master was? Because I was like,
Oh, I don't think I found the grand.
oh, okay. I'm not gonna tell you then. Don't look it up. I was just like so shocked. I don't know if I can say shocked. It was weird.
Interesting then.
Certainly surprising.
I'm not gonna like spoil this one, but one of my saddest parts in the game was during this one boss fight where basically one of the NPCs helps you out and they die. And I was so sad during that.
Oh yeah, my game glitched super bad because the ending of the boss fight triggered where that NPC dies,
Hmm.
and then but it triggered as I was killed.
Oh, that sucks.
So I go in there and there's the ghost of that NPC, and then that NPC shows up and fights alongside the ghost standing there, which I was like, I couldn't even which happened again. It happened twice. That time I wasn't expecting the boss, so I took a bunch of hits because I was like, oh, the boss is dead, whatever. Because the dead boss was there too, and I was like, oh, okay. Like after I had died and then come back to the boss fight, the boss arena, and it happened again. And then when I went there that final time and finally beat the boss, I was no longer able to talk to the ghost because it was technically only there the first time, or like because it glitched. And I was like, I never got to hear the words of the NPC when they're ghost, and it makes me sad. Like I was like, it's that much more lost.
Yeah, and I love that
Oh, who just left?
NPC story. Just like, oh, you help her get her
Did-
courage back.
Why'd Noah leave?
I don't know.
Oh well. Speaking of glitched bosses, I killed the fluke boss.
I cheesed the shit out of that boss.
The fluke marm. That's yeah.
Yeah.
I was found her really early by accident, and then was trying to fight him, and then it was apparently is considered one of the most cancerous bosses in this game.
I don't think I ever found this boss.
Easy
It's
peasy
hidden.
if you get the Abyss Shriek. Or no, the Abyss Howl? I don't even know. You get the tier 2 version of the upwards AoE attack.
But yeah, I totally somehow glitched it out where I like landed in the water, and then all of its things that spawned, like the weird fly shit, like were trying to go attack me and like are just hitting the surface of the water, and it like was like that for about 10 seconds, and all of a sudden they just all disappeared. And then I just went to the boss and it spawned no more of them. So I just sat there and whacked it while it did nothing. Pretty interesting.
I just cheesed it with that ability. The Abyss Streak. I did look it up. Yeah. So that one it just wrecked it. I just stood underneath it and just spammed that attack. Or that spell. With
I just realized I think Noah left because he didn't want spoilers.
oh.
Oh, all
I
right.
was still here. Mine like cut out for a while. I don't know what happened.
Oh, shit.
I mean, yeah, well, with that part of the spoiler, we're trying to avoid actually saying, and I mean, all the significant spoilers we said just throughout this, which is probably not the right way to do it, but sorry, it's just how it happened.
Yeah, sorry.
Just put a spoiler-heavy tag at the start, like before anyone clicks on the podcast, like in the title or something.
Well, that's
Yeah.
pretty much
I feel like
the point of this
that's a lot of the podcast.
kind of be with it.
Yeah, like I mean, this isn't really a review. This is a analysis almost. Yeah.
This like it. Yeah, the problem with that is like we recommend whether or not people should play it. Like
While ruining the
while we're
Yeah.
the story.
yeah. So maybe I don't know. I mean, we have to say whether or not we like it though.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's even without any of the story stuff. I mean, there's so many small moments throughout that like
Yeah,
would be
details are
impossible to
some-
spoil. Like the entire I can't even remember his name. The other swordsman throughout the entire game. So many small moments where I just like
Quirrell?
yeah. Oh
Yeah, he was probably my favorite NPC. I loved his quest, and it was great. I really liked him.
everything you did. Yeah. So much fun.
Yeah.
Nick, I don't know if have you gone to the Blue Lake?
Blue Lake. I don't think so.
So whenever you get there, like,
Oh, the Lake of Un.
oh, is that what it's called?
I think that's what it's called. Is that
That was
like you're
such
talking
a.
about the first place you find him?
Well, that's the last place you find him. Oh no, not the Lake of Moon. No, the Blue Lake. I don't remember what it's called.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. The
the
last
huge
place you find him.
Giant blue one. Like that part. Oh, well, I don't know about but like, make sure you visit that place at least once. Well, I guess maybe you don't have to go there ever. If you get to the point that you've beaten the game and you haven't visited the Blue Lake or whatever it's called,
Uh-huh.
Google it and find your way there.
All right. Write
I guess-
this down.
I think, yeah, if you had gotten to the boss, the end of the game, and you make it there, that should have been enough of the. Yeah, there should be enough accomplished that you should be able to see cool stuff.
All right.
I think, unless I'm forgetting something,
Hmm.
or not cool stuff, but I don't know. You should visit there. It's worth going.
100% this game. I don't know if I will, but I definitely will try to at least get more of the endings. I want to play a lot more of this game because there's so much to this game. Like, just all the little stuff that you can find that you don't need to find at all.
Well, yeah, all the tier 2 abilities you don't need. Like
Yeah.
you could beat the game without the shadow cloak. But
Yeah.
it's like it's such a good item, and it changes the way you can fight bosses and stuff. But
Yeah, it's super
it's so
good. Like,
So
Yeah.
the shadow cloak is just a modified version of the dash, and has a longer cooldown than the dash. So you can still do the dash as well. But it's like if it is already cooled down and you try to dash, I think it's the normal length if you don't have any of the charms on for it. But you can dash through enemies without taking damage.
Oh,
So like
okay.
bosses and stuff, and
Holy shit.
and then if you've ever come across those shadow gates, like the beams of black stuff, like you can go through those with that.
Oh.
So like
I just love the going through enemies without taking damage. Jesus Christ, that'd be amazing.
yeah, and then there's one charm somewhere that increases the length of the shadow dash by I think 30%, and then it makes it do damage.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember it being particularly worth it. I thought it took way too many slots last time I used it. Maybe not.
All right. I don't really have much else to discuss about the game.
yeah, I don't think I have a ton
Especially
else.
since I haven't beaten it fully, so
If by some miracle anybody does watch it, listen to this podcast, and you get to this point, play this fucking game if you haven't already. It's pretty great. I'm really glad I played this game.
that's good.
It's just
Alright.
it's like probably I would say this is probably in the top 10 games I've played. Definitely for 2D games.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
I
good.
would say it's the best Metroidvania I've ever played, which almost defeats the point of it being called a Metroidvania, if you know what I mean.
It's definitely
like I
top
said, I
5
haven't really
Metroidvania.
played any Metroidvanias. Like I haven't. It also this
Played
game makes me want to play
almost
Shovel Knight.
All the old 2D Metroids. I played Castlevania 1 and 2, and I just severely prefer this game.
I've played like first person shooters that were kind of Metroidvania in that you had to get items to get to new places and there were optional shit that you could find and stuff like that, but I've never played like a 2D like kind of classic Metroidvania. And I really liked it. But yeah, when I around the time that I bought this game, I also bought Owlboy, and I probably will also at some point buy Shovel Knight and play those two games. Yeah, I'm not sure if Shovel Knight is technically I don't think it's technically a Metroidvania, but it's kind of.
I find it weird
similar-ish.
that Metrovania is a genre, and it's not just called platformer.
It's more specific than that. It's the whole having to explore expansive areas, requiring backtracking, and having items that increase
Wouldn't that just be an
mobility through the area.
evolution of platformers, though?
Yes,
It's
but
a more
if
specific
Metroid and
description of a
Castlevania are the two
platformer.
that require it.
Well, it's weird
So,
to classify a game genre by a game.
Well, I mean, same
Well-
with Rogue. Roguelikes are called roguelikes because of Rogue.
And a lot of Dark Souls-esque.
I've never
games
heard a
called
game called
Souls-esque. I
It's
guess.
the original roguelike. It's why the roguelikes are called roguelikes. Yeah.
No, I've never
Rogue.
heard of a game called roguelike.
A roguelike?
The game is called
never.
Rogue.
Well, I know. I'm saying I've never heard another game referenced as roguelike.
Roguelike is a genre, yeah. It's a
Yeah, there's-
subgenre. Yeah. Role playing games. It's typically games where it's
Permadeath.
permadeath and it's procedurally generated. So
How many games are there of that?
a shit ton. Because
Yeah.
it was a huge
It was a
explosion
really
in
popular
those.
genre a little while ago.
Let's see. Let me scroll down to earlier.
Like- The one I'm thinking of right now is Don't Starve. A lot of survival games are roguelike.
Why
Like,
don't?
basically
Why
anything-
wouldn't you just fucking call them survival games? These are the most
'Cause-
retarded.
because
Not all of them are
no,
survival
it's more specific.
games.
It's no, the survival thing isn't. I wouldn't call Don't Starve a roguelike exactly. It's permadeath, procedural generation, and crippling difficulty are generally the three
hits
telltale signs that it's
all-
roguelike.
It's all of Don't Starve.
Well,
Yeah, but I mean
Yeah, but
generally. Okay,
it doesn't
Okay.
fit.
These are the
they're
dumbest
usually
terms. I
dungeon
feel like you
crawlers.
can't.
Usually, there's some type of actual. It's not just a big open world.
And why wouldn't you just call it dungeon crawler? You're
Because there are dungeon crawlers that are not roguelikes.
oh my god.
It, yeah, it's
It's a super.
Bash my
The
fucking
reason
head.
the reason it became a genre is because Rogue was a super early game, and it was quickly followed by a bunch of copycats. So out of those, they were referred to as roguelikes because of the copycats. Like it could have just as easily been called any of those. But
Here we go. Don't fucking call it a genre. Call it a subgenre. Just looked it up and they call it.
okay, fine, fair enough.
Because you're literally already saying genres while trying to describe it. Oh, a survival game. Oh, a dungeon crawler. Those are genres. And then just calling it a roguelike game is subgenre of that.
Okay,
It makes so much more sense, and it's just
I think it makes the same amount of sense, but okay. It's kind of a
subgenres-
technicality.
Genres are different.
I mean, it's on a level where it doesn't really matter to care between it.
I also feel like this is going.
Yeah, you're
way off
correct.
podcast.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah,
Getting off the podcast now.
Yeah.
Not discussing all this.
yeah, we got
That's
very very off there.
a little bit.
Right? Can we end the podcast now? Because like Jesus Christ, it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree.
Does it say? I'm wondering if it says somewhere how long we've been going.
We started at 7:15.
Yeah, 7:15. So we've been
So
going.
it's been an
about
hour and a half.
an hour.
Now
Yeah.
it's just us three arguing about genres, subgenres, roguelike games.
yeah. I don't think
I mean-
that belongs to the podcast at all.
Yeah.
Get that out, Zach.
I mean, yeah. If I've edited like the last couple. I edited the one for Rain World, Little Nightmares. Do we have any others besides that?
Nope.
No.
You should pull the chunks that are going off topic and just dump them somewhere, because I don't know.
A lot of podcasts that I
feel
listen
like I'll
to
enjoy
like,
listening to that.
do that. They release them as like mini episodes. But what I was thinking of doing is like I plan on making an actual YouTube channel for it and just releasing them.
Our
One-
podcast.
like,
Random.
yeah, the podcast. Releasing them like once a week or something. As soon as I get them like edited, and I'll probably like put in like the trailer footage or whatever, and
Cool. Some gameplay footage, maybe.
yep. Problem is I don't know very much about capture software, but I'll figure it out.
You don't have to bend backwards for all this.
Oh, I like doing it. I've been getting back into video editing recently, and I don't know. I want to learn more about like After Effects and stuff. So I'm more than happy to do it.
All right.
But yeah, I think I'm going to stop broadcasting now.
All right. Cool.